Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we like to take these kind of deep dives into the latest technology and gadgets, all that fun stuff. And today's no different. We're going to be looking at AI.
Sounds good.
It seems like AI is it's everywhere right now.
It is.
So many stories and just headlines every day about AI.
Yeah.
And so we're going to look at 3 sources today that highlight just how much AI is changing the world, really.
For better or for worse, right?
Yeah, for better and for worse.
Yes.
So we've got articles on how AI can help companies grow.
Okay.
We've got an article on AI governance, because with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
And then also how companies are using AI to keep kids safe in the metaverse.
Wow, that's a lot.
And then there's even a legal battle brewing around Google's dominance and how AI factors into all that.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Let's get started. All right, first up, we're talking about how AI can help businesses grow.
Okay.
You know how sometimes you feel like you're doing the work of like 3 people?
Oh, yeah. Just swamped.
Mm-hmm.
Well, imagine if AI could help you do the work of like 10 people.
Wow.
That's kind of the idea here.
Yeah.
So our first source highlights this stat that in big companies, just 15% of employees
Okay.
bring in 90% of the revenue.
Really?
So it's really just a small group of people who are carrying a company.
Yeah. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on those top performers.
It is.
And that's where this company, Brox, comes in.
Okay.
They're using AI agents to basically help those employees do even more.
So essentially like giving them superpowers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Superpowered employees. So
Yeah.
instead of hiring like crazy,
Right?
companies can use AI to help their teams be even more productive.
That makes sense.
And it seems like investors are buying into this idea too. Brox has already secured $50 million in funding
Wow.
from some big names like Sequoia and General Catalyst.
Those are some heavy hitters.
Yeah, which is really impressive when you consider they're up against like Microsoft and other giants in this space.
Right. So what makes Brox stand out in such a crowded field?
So what sets them apart is their approach to data. And they've built something they call a warehouse native system of record.
Okay. Warehouse native system of record. I'm not sure I follow.
Yeah, it sounds pretty jargony. Break that down for us.
Well, think of it this way. Your company's data is like a giant library
Yeah.
full of valuable information.
Yeah,
Now, most AI tools just kind of skim the surface, like grabbing a few books here and there.
kind of.
But Brock's system is actually built to live within that library,
Okay.
understanding the organization and relationships between all that information.
So it's not just accessing the data, it's like understanding the whole context.
Exactly. And that deep integration allows their AI agents to be much more effective.
That's pretty powerful. I mean, it's almost like those AI agents become, like I said, superpowered employees.
Yeah, equipped with all the knowledge and insights of the entire company.
Yeah, but of course we can't just unleash AI without any rules or oversight,
Oh,
right?
definitely not.
And that leads us to our next source.
Okay, bring it on.
All this talk about AI's potential is exciting,
Mm-hmm.
but without proper governance, things could go wrong.
Yeah, it's like giving someone a powerful tool without a safety manual.
You know, you say that and it makes me think of those like sci-fi movies
Oh, yeah.
where the AI goes rogue and takes over the world.
Right.
Hopefully we're not headed in that direction.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So who's working to prevent those dystopian scenarios?
Well, one company that's trying to address this is Credo AI.
Creo AI, okay.
They've partnered with Microsoft Azure AI Foundry to develop something called policy intelligence.
Policy intelligence. Okay, that sounds pretty complex.
It does, right? But it's basically about building guardrails into AI systems.
Okay, so it's like a built-in ethics check for AI.
Exactly. It helps companies align their AI applications with their values and even comply with regulations.
Okay, so it's not just about preventing those like doomsday scenarios.
Oh,
It's also about making sure that AI is used responsibly.
right. It's about ensuring that AI is used for good and doesn't accidentally cause harm or perpetuate existing biases.
That makes sense. But according to our source, it seems like a surprising number of companies aren't thinking about this yet.
Oh, really?
Over 70% of companies don't even have AI governance frameworks in place.
Wow. That's concerning.
Yeah, it is a little concerning, but the good news is that companies like Credo AI are gaining traction. They're working with big players like MasterCard,
Oh, okay.
and the results have been positive.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it seems like companies are starting to recognize that AI governance isn't just a nice to have anymore.
Right. It's a necessity.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ready for a change of pace?
Sure.
Our next source takes us into the world of the metaverse,
Okay.
specifically how companies are trying to keep kids safe online.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Huge, right? especially with the growing popularity of platforms like Roblox, which boasts almost 90 million users,
Wow.
a large portion of whom are children. So keeping that many young people safe in a virtual world, that's a massive challenge.
It is a huge responsibility.
Absolutely. And it's not just about protecting them from bullies or inappropriate content.
Right.
It's also about ensuring their privacy and data security.
Uh-huh.
So what is Roblox doing to tackle this challenge?
Well, they've recently implemented 3 new safety features.
Okay, let's hear it.
First, they've introduced enhanced parental controls.
Okay, so giving parents more tools to monitor their kids' activity.
Exactly, and set limits on what they can access.
That's good news for parents who are worried about what their kids are up to online.
It is.
What else are they doing?
Well, they've also revamped their communication tools for users under 13,
Okay.
making it harder for bad actors to contact them,
Right.
creating safer spaces for interaction.
Uh-huh.
And finally, they've added extra layers of protection for younger users, like stricter content moderation and more robust reporting mechanisms.
That's all really good to hear. But I imagine verifying age online is tricky,
Oh.
especially with privacy regulations in place.
It's definitely complex.
So how is Roblox navigating that?
They're using a multi-layered approach that combines AI, human moderation, and constant system updates.
Okay, so it's not just one thing.
No, it's a combination of approaches.
Got it.
They have AI algorithms that flag suspicious behavior and a team of human investigators who look into potential issues.
So like a digital neighborhood watch.
Yeah, but on a much more sophisticated level.
Right, that's reassuring to hear. But what I find particularly impressive is that Roblox actually open-sourced some of its AI technology for safety.
Wow, that's a bold move.
It is. So why would they do that?
Well, by open sourcing their technology, they're encouraging collaboration and a shared responsibility for online safety.
So it's like saying, hey, we figured out some solutions. Let's work together to make the internet a safer place for everyone.
Exactly, especially for kids.
I love that approach. It's like turning the fight for online safety into a team sport. So even though there are bad actors out there, it's encouraging to see companies like Roblox taking those proactive steps to protect their users, particularly the most vulnerable ones.
Yeah, definitely a step in the right direction.
For sure. Now, speaking of major players and challenges, our last source for this part of the deep dive takes us to the courtroom.
Oh, things are about to get legal.
It is. Buckle up.
Yeah, we're diving into the ongoing antitrust case against Google.
Okay.
It's a complex situation, but basically the U.S. Department of Justice is taking on Google.
Like a legal boxing match.
Exactly.
In this corner, Google, the tech giant, and
in the other corner, the DOJ.
Okay, so what's the DOJ's problem with Google?
Well, it comes down to Google's dominance in search and web browsing.
Uh-huh.
The DOJ is concerned about Google's contracts with device manufacturers. How Google's Chrome browser is often the default option on phones and computers.
Yeah.
They argue that this stifles competition and limits consumer choice.
So it's not just about search results then.
No, it's about how Google's influence extends to the very devices we use to access the internet.
That makes sense. But haven't we seen this before with companies like Microsoft and even AT&T?
You're right. This isn't the first time a tech giant has faced antitrust scrutiny.
Right.
The Microsoft case, for example, dragged on for almost a decade.
Yeah.
And even AT&T's antitrust case took years to resolve.
So this could be a long and winding legal road for Google.
It could. And what makes this case even more complex is how quickly the tech industry changes.
Right.
New players are emerging. Technologies are constantly evolving.
So by the time this case is resolved, who knows what the search and browser landscape will even look like?
Think about the rise of AI-powered search engines.
Okay.
Could that potentially disrupt Google's dominance, even if they win this case?
Interesting point. So this case isn't just about Google.
No, it's about who controls the data that fuels the next wave of innovation.
And that's a pretty big deal.
It is, and it raises a big question. Should any single company have so much control over the data that shapes our digital lives?
Something to think about, for sure. Okay, so we've covered some pretty heavy topics.
No.
AI agents changing the business world,
Yeah.
the quest for ethical AI, the challenges of keeping kids safe in the metaverse, and now a legal showdown with Google that could reshape the entire tech landscape.
It's been a whirlwind tour of the AI landscape, for sure.
It has, highlighting both the incredible opportunities
Right.
and the complex challenges that we face as this technology keeps evolving.
It's true. And as we move forward, it's Crucial to approach AI with a balanced perspective.
Yeah.
Acknowledging its potential, but remaining mindful of the risks.
Well said. Ready to explore some more of those opportunities and risks in the final part of our deep dive. Welcome back to the show. So we've been talking all about AI, its impact on businesses, online safety, even the legal battles brewing around its use.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
It is. But before we wrap things up, I kind of want to zoom out and think about the big picture.
Sounds good.
You know, we've seen how AI is changing the game in all these different areas.
Yeah.
But how do we make sure that it's a game we all actually want to play?
Right. That's the key question, isn't it?
It is. We've talked about responsible AI, ethical frameworks, all that good stuff. But it can all feel kind of overwhelming sometimes.
It can?
Like, where do we even begin to tackle these challenges?
Well, I think it starts with recognizing that AI isn't this like mystical force acting on its own.
Right.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's built by humans, trained on data, created by humans.
Right.
And it reflects all those biases and values that are present in that data.
So we can't just blame the algorithms if things go wrong.
Exactly.
We need to take responsibility for what we create and how we use these tools.
Right. And that responsibility extends beyond just the tech industry.
Yeah.
It's a conversation that we need to have as a society, involving different voices, different perspectives, different disciplines.
So it's not just about coders and engineers.
No.
It's about all of us being part of this conversation.
Exactly.
Okay. But let's get practical for a second. What can we do as individuals to navigate this crazy AI-powered world?
Well, a good first step is just becoming more aware of how AI is already affecting our lives.
Okay.
You know, pay attention to those personalized recommendations you see online.
Right.
The algorithms shaping your social media feeds, how your data is being used.
Right.
Don't just passively consume, become a conscious user.
So be more mindful of those, like, suggested for use sections.
Exactly.
Really question why certain things pop up on our feeds. Don't just blindly accept what the algorithm throws at us.
Right. And if you see something that seems biased or unfair, don't be afraid to speak up.
Good point.
The more we demand responsible AI, the more pressure there will be on companies to prioritize those ethical considerations.
So we have power as consumers.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
But with AI advancing so rapidly, how can we stay informed and not get overwhelmed by all the changes?
There are tons of resources out there, books, articles, podcasts like this one.
Oh, yeah. Shameless plug.
Even online courses can provide a basic understanding of how AI works and its potential impact.
Okay, so knowledge is power. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to manage both its benefits and its risks.
Exactly. And always remember that AI is a tool. It's up to us to decide how we use it.
Yeah.
What kind of future we want to build with it.
Well said. It's been quite a journey.
Yes.
Exploring the world of AI, its promises, perils, and all its potential to reshape the world.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And that wraps up this episode of Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed our exploration of AI, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.